Hey guys, and welcome to another video. I don't know if this angle is good. So it's officially February. I thought January would never end, to be honest. I think February is like trying to make up for how long January was. It seems like the days in February is just like flying by super fast. And anyway, we finished another book, and today we're going to be reviewing The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie Oh. Oh my god, it's like super hot. I feel like summer is upon us. Now, if you saw my last review, where I reviewed Writers and Lovers by Lily King, I mentioned that I was really trying to finish this book, and I did. And, by the way, I want to highlight again how beautiful this cover is. I love the artwork on the cover. That's what caught my eye, actually, in the first place. But I stuffed it in my bag, and now the sleeves look a little bit worn out. And this is a big horror story for any reader to have the sleeve dust cover actually folded. So as I said in my last video, I have put off reading this book for a while now. I finally picked it up because, I've been leaving it on the bookshelf and it's been gathering dust and I didn't have anything else to read. And, overall, it really pains me to say that I don't think I really connected with this book at all. Okay, now background time. I am really familiar with the author Axie Oh. I know that she wrote Rebel Soul. I think that is like a two-part YA series. And she did write XOXO, which I've read and I really like. And I found that it was a very cute, fluffy, unserious read about a girl who goes to Korea and falls in love with a K-pop star. Now, her writing in that book obviously wasn't groundbreaking or anything, but you can excuse that because, it was a book about the girl who fell in love with the K-pop star. It was a book about like a secret romance. So there was really no need to pull off like a Jane Austen, right? But, it was readable. And in my opinion, so is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. My only problem is that I just feel like it didn't really live up to the premise or the hype. Okay, slight spoilers ahead, so don't say I didn't warn you. Now, this book promises to be a feminist retelling of the tale of Sim Chong, a traditional Korean story about a girl who sacrifices herself to the sea god to help restore her father's eyesight, which I know, as pious as that sounds, I don't think it's really deserved that everyone thinks it is. Anyway, The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea centers around Mina this time. Sim Chong is still a character in this story, but this time she takes on the role of the lover of Mina's brother. So Chong is about to be sacrificed to the sea god, but Mina takes her place and jumps into the sea instead. I know, Chong can't take a break. Neither can the woman in the story. Mina is then whisked away to the world of the sea god, and she finds that it's full of spirits and immortals. And because this is a sprawling fantasy, there is discord and conflicts in the spirit realm. Mina then finds the sea god, and then he happens to be in an eternal sleep. And she finds out that this curse that has befallen to him is threatening the spirit realm and also her village. Not to mention, Mina finds that there's like a red string of fate connecting her to the sea god. If you don't know what the red string of fate is, this is actually very popular in East Asian culture and symbolizes soulmates. So the string can be seen by the two people whose souls are bound together, but the rest of the people around them can't actually see it. Anyway, since it's connecting her and the sea god, it suddenly gets severed by the cold-hearted Shin, who actually also steals her soul. Okay, there's like so many elements in this story. For like the next 100 pages, for example, it's really just Mina trying to get her voice back. And when she does, she finds that the red string of fate has actually attached her to Shin. And when she finds out that she's actually soulmates with Shin as well, the story suddenly shifts to Mina's need to break the sea god's curse to prevent herself from being stuck in the spirit realm forever. And she also has to save her village from the raging sea storms and famine and whatever bad thing is happening to the village. Oh yes, did I mention that there are different people trying to assassinate her, and there's like this vengeful goddess that Mina actually has a bone to pick with. Okay, that's a lot. I mean, I get it. It's a fantasy. There's got to be a lot of elements to it, right? But I think the main issue with this book is that a lot of these elements didn't really work together. Now, I did read The Priory of the Orange Tree, and if you've read that book, you know that it has multiple layers to it too. But these layers were cohesive. They flowed together to build the plot. For the girl who fell beneath the sea, there were just too many elements and just way too many plot holes and loose ends. I'm not so sure if I wasn't just paying attention, but I really couldn't uncover why the heads of the houses were fighting, why they wanted to kill Lord Shin, why they wanted to kill the sea god, and what happened to them in the end, most of all. If you were going to introduce that many characters, then maybe we could have had like them in a climactic scene or something that actually brings them together to build the plot. Instead, we got this really like long, strung out ending where Mina unwillingly marries the sea god, which is ironic because up to that point the whole book was rushed and there was hardly any character development. And when we got to the part that she actually married the sea god, like that was like 3 chapters long and it just really served no purpose to the story. And speaking of character development, like you get to know the characters, you know what type of spirits they are, and that was actually pretty interesting. But it's mostly just superficial descriptions of what they are, and what's worse, they don't really serve any significance to the overall plot or to each other. Case in point, Hieri, the god of death, the moon goddess, and that childhood friend of Mina that had somehow disappeared in the middle of the book. And also, for a book that should be all about the world building, it was, pretty average. I did think the descriptions of the spirit city, the river of souls, those were good and enchanting, but the rest, I just didn't think that the writing was enough to hold your imagination. And yes, let's talk about the romance. I mean, this is an Axie Oh novel. She's a young writer and she loves sprinkling a bit of K-drama vibes here and there in her books, and this is no exception. And it pains me to say that Shin, I know you might have guessed it by now, that he might be your quintessential male K-drama lead, but he's hardly ever in the book. And as you might have guessed, he's not particularly too fun about Mina's betrothal to the sea god because he's fallen in love with her. And the thing with Mina and Shin's romance is we don't have that build up. It just happens all of a sudden and boom, they're in love. I mean, I do think it's a cardinal sin in K-drama world where you have the couple just fall in love suddenly. I mean, if you want to write a book about two people that are fated to love each other and are trying to fight that attraction off, I mean, at least make the build up right. Overall, I just think I didn't really enjoy this book as much as I hoped I would. To summarize my issues with the book, I just felt like the pacing was a little bit off. There were too many bits and pieces that didn't work together to build the plot. The characters were undeveloped and the romance was rushed. Now, Mina's character was not very good either, sorry. I was so discouraged when she kept saying she wasn't beautiful or special, but everyone pointed out that she was beautiful and special. She said she wasn't a good fighter, but somehow left every fight unharmed. It just pains me to say that she was really giving off like Mary Sue vibes. On Goodreads, I rated this book 2 stars. I still think it does deserve like praise, especially after reading the foreword and Axie Oh said that she wrote this book during her uni years, so I could tell that this project meant a lot to her. And I really have a special spot for writers that craft stories based on their own culture. In the book community, we somehow classify these novels as, hashtag own voices. And these novels are usually based on either the writer's own experience, their identity, or from their culture or background. So in a way, it does fit that genre. And another good reason to read this is that Axie Oh is a Korean American and she really does justice to the original folktale. And if you are somebody who likes K-drama, you might also enjoy this book. And yes, it's a good read for anyone looking for a light fantasy and anyone looking for a book with soft world building elements. I wouldn't say that it has parallels to Ghibli. I mean, I know that it's been marketed for fans of Spirited Away. It's whimsical and it's also set in the spirit realm, but I think that's where the comparisons stop. because I don't think it really packs the charm or imagination of any Ghibli film. Does, however, lean towards soul cleansing themes of hope and fighting for your found family, which I love that. And it's really nice if you're looking for a departure from a heavy fantasy or a really dramatic book. So again, it's 2 out of 5 stars for The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. I'm sorry, I know you guys can hear the chicken in the background. And that's it for me today. I hope you guys watch out for my next video. I'll be reviewing Daisy Jones and the Six. I finished that yesterday and I'll be filming my review soon. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe if you want to.